Good morning. It is my pleasure this morning to introduce to you the iChallenge team for Dow. We have Bryce Stockford from Reading High School, Kobe Moon and Elena Masters, both from Hillsdale High School, and Casey Rhodes from North Adams Jerome High School, as well as the Hillsdale Area Career Center. Introducing to you the Dowden.
The Dowden was a dragon the team created to represent the manufacturing components of Dow. The dragon is the Dow company and all the companies they have. The baskets are the raw materials, both liquid and powder. The knives are security and PPE. The blacksmiths are workers because they help make the product. The carriage are the forklifts. They help transport the materials and products. The castle is the Dow building and it's held together by the final product. And the heat is the chemical reaction that makes the adhesive work.
Driving question we received is how can we make forklift work safer and more efficient? So we came up with 2 goals. Our first goal is to reduce forklift traffic on the floor, and our second goal is to help them find alternative ways to complete their tasks.
Forklift statistics. 100 workers are killed in forklift-related accidents each year. 34,000 injuries are treated in emergency rooms each year. 25% of all fatalities are due to forklift rollover accidents.
And so we asked Dow for their accident reports. Since January 2016, there have been 12 accidents involving forklifts. Although no one was hurt, it still caused property damage and product damage, which brings up a concern for safety as well. And so we believe that this could have been avoided if there was more space and less forklift traffic.
In order to understand Dow's forklift traffic, we spent some time on the factory floor. While we were out there, we took tallies of every time a forklift entered and exited a room. So, in the first mixing room, forklifts went through 32 times. In the second mixing room, it was half that, at 16 times. Now mind you, that was in 1 hour. There was also a traffic jam. 3 forklifts all trying to get through at one time.
We researched various topics, even the company itself, and we visited 3 plants to see how their floors also run, to understand the problem itself and how figure out a way to run things more efficiently. We have both long-term and short-term solutions, but our short-term solutions are obviously more effective and would come into play more immediately and would be cheaper.
During our time on the factory floor, we noticed that the forklift drivers honked in order to warn the workers that they were coming. So this got rather confusing because there was beeping coming from all over the factory. You never really knew where they were coming from. So we found these forklift lights that could be mounted on the front, back, and sides of the forklift. These LED lights would shine on the floor, and when you seen them, you knew that a forklift wasn't very far behind.
As we were in the factory, forklifts drove in and out around the building without any sort of zoning or any sort of order. And so we thought, well, what if we gave the forklifts themselves a zoning assignment in the building? We can assign forklifts to a certain room or a certain area of the building so they aren't running around. Or we could give people specific forklift driving jobs, and we can give them key cards so they can log into forklifts as they get onto them.
Along with zone assignments, both stop signs and traffic signs would cut down congestion and high foot traffic areas greatly.
Pedestrian walkways. There were forklifts driving everywhere, and it was dangerous for the pedestrians and could possibly cause injury. By having more designated walkways, there would be less traffic congestion, and it would also make it safer for the employees.
Although that concludes our short-term solutions, we have come up with 5 interlocking long-term solutions that we believe will cut down on forklift traffic.
Currently, materials are stored around the mixer. They're also parted back and forth between the mixing rooms and the storage room. So we came up with a loft and funnel system. In order to limit the times that materials are moved, they would be stored directly in the loft. The loft would also hold up the funnel system. Funneling the powders down from the loft would decrease the time that the materials are moved, and it would open up floor space. Now here are some basic examples of lofts. However, Dow would have to have some closed-in, solid walls because the powders have to be held separate from the liquids in order to reduce contamination.
A conveyor elevator would help to lift products up into the loft instead of having the forklifts coming back into the congested mixing area to lift it up themselves. A few elevators we found was a pallet elevator where you can slide an entire pallet of materials onto it that would carry it up to the loft, or a spiral elevator where you can unload the pallet onto the elevator that would carry it up to the loft. And those are from $4,000 to $8,000.
Along with conveyor elevators, conveyor belts would also reduce forklift traffic greatly, especially around the mixing areas. The conveyor belts would also bring the materials up into the loft, and conveyor belts can go from anywhere from $155 per foot to $120 per system. These are two examples of that's a conveyor belt and that's a system.
Another idea we had was a platform. Forklifts were being used to hold containers while they were being dumped into the mixer and while they were being cleaned, which made the forklift sit idle, wasting propane, and it was not being used. And so if they had a platform that they could set the barrels on, they could be drained and cleaned without having to use the forklift. And a platform can be anywhere from $1,000 to $4,000.
Semi-bulk tanks are larger tanks that pump the liquid ingredients into the mixer. The problem is that there's not a lot of semi-bulks, which means the forklifts have to sit there idle running in the mixers. This makes the forklift unavailable, and it also wastes money and propane. By having more semi-bulks, so the forklifts don't have to sit idle, and if the liquids need to stay warm, they can be kept in tote tank heaters and pumped directly to the mixer. Semi-bulks cost from $200 to $500 each, and tank tote heaters are $1,000 to $3,000 each.
In order to demonstrate the lock and funneling system, we created a prototype.
It would start shipping, the forklifts would take the materials off the semi-trucks and put onto the conveyor. The conveyor belt would take it through the elevator.
From the conveyor belt, the elevator would raise the powders straight up to the loft. This would reduce forklift traffic because the forklifts don't have to lift it directly to the loft.
The powder would then be stored in the loft until it was pumped into the mixer with liquids.
And in the mixer, there's a chemical reaction. And then after the chemical reaction, once the final product is made, it is stored into their separate containers and sent down the conveyor belt to shipping. And we have noticed that the product does look a lot like Play-Doh sitting inside of Play-Doh. In your folders and around the tables, we have our references from the websites we found most of our materials, and our business plans included that as well. And here's a slide with many of the field trips we have taken with our research. In conclusion, we believe there are several ways to reduce risk and increase efficiency. We believe that having several structural changes, there would be a reduce in forklift traffic and maybe even a reduce in forklift need altogether. Thank you.
So now you know more about forklifts. Anybody?
Yeah.
You did all that in a week. That was pretty impressive. How much time did you separate between, I mean, you took field trips, you had to do all the research on the product, and then it looks like you did a lot of observation out on the shop floor. How did you break that up? Did you separate, assign different members to a different task? Did you all do it and split up your time?
Well, there are 2 mixer rooms, so Bryce and I went to the first one, and Kobe and Elena went to the second one. And we had specific workers walking us through the floor. The very first day we took a tour, because we didn't know much about it, so they showed us the entire process and everything that would happen. So that was basically the first couple of days that we studied the company itself.
Also, our teacher leader set up a whole calendar explaining when we would get parts of the project done and when we were supposed to do them. So we had a deadline to start last Monday on our project, and we were taking field trips specifically on Thursday and Friday.
I noticed that you had several suggestions of equipment that they could invest in. Was there any one of those that you felt would be a greater return on investment for the company?
Forklift lights and traffic signs especially, because even though in the long term they could, improvise conveyor belts and machinery, in the short term they could definitely make their plant safer and more efficient.
The platform would also help with getting more out of their product because the forklifts just sit there and they're unused. So then the forklift could be used for other things to speed up the process. Also, so would conveyor belts, because then the forklifts could be putting them right onto the truck. So it definitely would speed up and get more time.
I noticed early in the presentation, you talked about data collection and you looked at accidents. I wondered if you factored in the root cause of those accidents when you analyzed the information to determine what was the best course of action.
We did notice that the accidents were mostly caused because there was a lack of space and there was way too much forklift traffic. And so we took that into consideration and we decided that by eliminating forklift traffic and by opening up more space, we feel that that would have made those accidents not happen.
The forklift also has a 13-foot turn radius, so there's not a lot of floor space, so even when they're turning, it would be really easy for them to hit into stuff, which a lot of it was product and structural damage to the building, so the space was definitely a factor.
That concludes our mini lesson in forklift.